Welcome back to Project 613. Today we learn about the Torah's prohibition on a husband from remarrying his divorced wife after she was married to another man in the interim. We know this from the Torah's discussion on the mitzvah of divorce, where the Torah tells us that after a man divorced his wife, she is permitted to go and marry another man. However, what happens if her second marriage ends, whether because her second husband divorced her or if her second husband died and left her a widow? It is then forbidden for her first husband to go and remarry her. And this is the prohibition that we are learning today. It's called Machzir Grushato, where it is forbidden for a man to remarry his divorced wife once she has already been married to another man in the interim. Now, of course, this prohibition applies only in such a situation where following the original divorce, the wife went and remarried a second husband. But if not for that, then of course it would be permissible for a couple who got divorced to go and remarry each other. Not only it's permissible, but according to many opinions, it's actually something which is encouraged, that if a couple who got divorced and later regret the decision and want to get back together again, so long as it wasn't an abusive or dangerous situation and both couples consent, they could and should get back together and get remarried again. However, this is only so long as the wife didn't already remarry a second husband. But if following her divorce she remarried a second husband, then even if that marriage ends, then it would be forbidden for the first husband to get back together with her again. What's the reason for this prohibition? The Torah says that this is something which is called immoral. It's an immoral behavior, and we are forbidden from bringing immoral behavior into our land. But what's immoral about this? I mean, if the man is allowed to remarry his wife after getting divorced, why does it become immoral just because she was married to someone else in between and that marriage ended? Why does it now become immoral? Well, the commentaries explain that since the Torah prohibits adultery outright, if this would be allowed, this can technically be a way of circumventing the prohibition of adultery whilst allowing a situation of wife swapping, and especially in such a time where wife swapping was something which was very, very prevalent. How exactly would a wife swapping be able to take place whilst avoiding outright adultery? Very simple. A man would divorce his wife, and then his friend would also divorce his wife, and because now they are both divorced, they are each free to go and marry each other's wife. They would go and do that, and then when they're finished, they can go and divorce each other's wife and then get back to their original wife. And in such a situation, they would be able to say, hey, this is not adultery, this is technically allowed. And it's in order to avoid something like this from happening, where effectively it would be wife swapping, that the Torah doesn't allow for a man to remarry his divorced wife once there was another relationship following the divorce. And this is the prohibition of Machzir Grushato. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.